Hey everybody, and welcome back to It's Only Food with Chef John Politte. Today we're going to be showing you how to make cream of asparagus soup. Cue the music. Alright everybody, thanks a lot for joining us. Welcome back. I appreciate you being here from whatever platform you're watching me on. Like I said, we're going to be making cream of asparagus soup. Let's go ahead and check out what our recipe has. We have got 1 small onion diced, 1 rib of celery diced, 1 carrot diced, 1 small bunch of asparagus that we've cut up, 1/4 pound of butter, 1/2 cup of flour, 3 cups of water, not pictured, 1 cup of heavy cream, a little salt and pepper for taste, 2 tablespoons of fresh minced garlic, 2 tablespoons of savory, and 1 tablespoon of fennel seed. Now you'll notice that there are big pieces of carrot in here. Those are baby carrots. The asparagus, the baby carrots, and the celery were in the bottom of our produce crisper. I saw that and I said, hey, I think I'll do a show on cream of asparagus. That's why the baby carrots haven't been cut, but we're going to show you a shortcut so you don't have to worry about doing all that prep. Everything is done. Let's head over to the stove and start making our soup. All right, as we always do, we've got our mise en place. We've got everything we need over there, except for our spoon. I'm going to throw our spoon over there. Now we have our mise en place full. We got our butter, we got our vegetables, our asparagus. We've got the flour, all of our herbs and spices, our stock, our milk, and our water in the back on the left there. So I'm going to focus on the pan and we will start cooking. All right, got our pan on a medium to medium high heat. I'm going to put our butter in and let that start melting. Don't forget the recipe is in the description box in the first pinned comment. We'll let this butter melt and we'll add our mirepoix. All right, our butter is melting and making some noise in the pan, so it's going to throw all of our mirepoix right on in there. Carrots, celery, and onions. We're going to start cooking this down to let it caramelize a little bit and leach some of its sugars and flavor into it. I'm going to hit it with salt and pepper. Let's let this start browning up a little bit. Alright, we got some color. Those carrots have softened up a bit. Now, like I said in the beginning of the video, the asparagus and the celery and the carrots were all at the bottom of the crisper, kind of getting limp. The carrots were already soft. They're not as hard as rock. They are soft. So, but now we've gotten to the point where we've got the color. I want to go ahead and just throw our cut up asparagus in there. Now I did cut up all the tips down to about the 3rd or 4th leaf from the end. You want to cut your asparagus up to when you've got the stalk color changes a little bit, and then you know it's going to get too woody and too tough. But I diced all that up, and you can save your stock or save your stalks to make a stock too. I didn't do that with this because it was kind of bad. I saved as much asparagus as I could. All right, a little more salt and pepper, and now this time I'm going to throw our fennel seeds. Our savory and our garlic in there. And what I want to do now with this is I want to blend it in here with this to bloom those flavors. Really bloom them, because if you add the herbs and spices sometimes at the end of a dish and you just throw it into the liquid, it's going to season it a little bit, but it's really not going to build a foundation of flavor. And when you're doing this in the fat or the oil, it really does bring out what that seasoning is meant to be. So I'm gonna let this simmer down a little bit, get soft. Like I said, let me get this. Let me show you. I've got my immersion blender that I'm going to use to whip and puree this all up when it's done. So I'm not too worried about it being hard, which I'm not going to worry about anyway because it's not. We're cooking it down, but it's all going to get pureed up. Now, if you don't have an immersion blender or a blender, then you can just dice it all up really fine, or you can use a grater if you want, or food processor too beforehand, and then make it the same where we're making it. Won't take as long, but so we're just gonna let this cook down a little more, let that asparagus soften up just a touch, and then we'll make our roux. Everything is cooking down, smells great. Now the secret I was saying is if you were worried about all of this being too hard and too tough because all we're doing is sauteing it, you can always boil it or simmer it in the chicken stock and then add your roux to it separately. We're going to add our flour to this butter and fat mixture and make our roux with all of the ingredients in here. That's called the Singer method. But if you're worried about it being tough, you can boil it, simmer it, add enough liquid into where you're just covering up the vegetables, and then just simmer it for a while to get everything to break down too. But like I said, we're going to be using our immersion blender, and that will cut through most of the woodiness of this stuff. But you also, if you put your lid on it like this, it'll steam it as well. So if you've got a lid, go ahead and steam it. Just don't have your temperature too high or you will burn it. So, all right, now I'm going to add our chicken stock in here. And I have to do that with my fingers. I'm going to put it right into that. We're just going to spread it around. Get it all in there with all the different, spread it in around so it gets mixed in with all the vegetables. We'll do a taste test later. See if we need to add more. Alright, now I'm going to add half of our flour. Spread it out nicely. Stir that in. Alright, and add a little bit more flour. A little bit more. Let that cook a little bit. It smells wonderful. I'm going to get a whisk for this part now. Alright, we got that flour mixture, our roux cooked down. Let's add our water. I just started with 2 cups because I just want to eyeball it and see how thick it's getting. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. Y'all need that 1/3 cup of water. Whisk it up really well. Keep our heat medium. Continue to let that roux thicken it. Give it a taste. See if we need to add more chicken base. Nope, we're good. All right, we'll add our cup of heavy cream. Stir that up. I am going to use our immersion blender, puree this up. We're going to put it in a bowl, plate it up over there, take some wonderful pictures of it. We're going to come back and we're going to give it a taste. Don't go away. That is a thing of beauty. All the color, all the different components of the ingredients in there. You can just see it. So let's see what it tastes like. Oh, creamy, thick. You taste that fennel. Taste the garlic. Base is good with that chicken stock. It's just perfect in there. It's really, you can tell when it's been built. The flavor's been built along the way and not just added at the end. Very good. Crusty bread, biscuit. This would be a good meal. In fact, it's going to be my meal. I'm going to have dinner. I appreciate you watching. That recipe for this is down in the description box or the first pinned comment. Don't forget to check out my seasoning shop. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.
These rappers don't listen. Well, let me show them something. You hear that beat bumping, bumping from the soul kitchen. Now what you fixing up? Good food, soul food, come and pick it up. These rappers don't listen, well let me show them something. You hear that beat bumping, bumping from the soul kitchen.